Hey there, welcome back to another Black Metal Monday. I didn't think I was going to record one for today. I'm actually traveling, so this is pre-recorded and pre-uploaded. But I found some time in my Friday afternoon to record it, and I figured I'd have to talk about two records today that I've been listening to nonstop since I've gotten them. And yeah, if you've come here to listen or to see if I'm talking about any super underground, obscure black metal band, no. No, I am not. That is not the kind of black metal enthusiast that I am, unfortunately. So if that's what you've come here for, you are at the wrong YouTube channel. But yeah. So I got two new releases that came out fairly recently. Two of my all-time favorite releases this year, by far. I would even say two of my favorite albums to come out this year, period. Just my number ones that are tied so far. And of course, they're black metal albums, so I'm surprised. Well, one of them is like Black and Sludge. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it. So there's a little bit of a caveat there that some people are probably going to bitch about in the comments if you're one of those people. But yeah. So first up is, Blue Douse Nord. Yep, you knew I was going to talk about it on here. And this is Disharmonium Nahab, I think is how you say Nahab. I don't know. Their 16th full-length album, and it's a beast. It is a terrifying beast. Now, this is the continuation of their album that came out last year, Disharmonium Undreamable Abysses. I love this album. This is one of my favorite albums that came out last year. Terrifying chaos. Different than what I normally would listen to, but I absolutely loved it. So I was really excited when I found out this was coming out because I assumed much of the same, which, to be honest with you, this is a lot better than the previous one. I love this album. And I don't quite understand why I love it so much because it is suffocating and terrifying and chaotic, and there's just so much going on, but also sounds so good. And it's literally like what you're seeing on this album cover. So as always, I will show off the record so you can see what variant I got and what you get with this record. There was a special edition, like slipcase edition with numbered, that sold out super fast. So this is out on Deborah Morty Productions. You can get it through their US site, you can get it through their Euro site, and then Indie Merch also sells these, and several other distros. Everybody has it now. So it's a nice gatefold. And on the inside of the jacket, it has an H.P. Lovecraft quote, two of them actually. One of them said, "She had spoken also of the black man, of her oath, and of her new secret name of Nahab. I don't know how to say it." And then the other one is a really long one, which I'm not going to read out loud, so you can pause the video and read it if you don't own this already. On the back, there's some more themes there of quotations. So yeah, this is a continuation of their H.P. Lovecraftian music that they're making. I don't even, like I said, basically what I've been saying is it's a lot of like, what the fuck am I listening to? Oh my god, that was so good. Like literally that is what makes you feel like when you're listening to it. It's a nightmare. It makes you really enjoy nightmares because it's so good. This particular pressing came, I think all of them did, to be honest with you, with this really awesome poster. I really want to frame that and hang it, so I probably will. And it smells like very heavy toxins. I don't know what that deal was with it. It's just very potent. And then I got some special edition that was only limited to 300. I can't remember exactly like what it was, but it's a really cool splatter. It's like a beer colored splatter. So yeah, I mean, this album is not for everybody. Some people are gonna listen to it and be like, I don't get it. Why do people love this so much? It sounds awful. It's terrifying. It's a bunch of noise. And there are some elements to it where, yeah, it just sounds like a bunch of noise, but there's so much going on. The guitars are so fantastic. The vocals are very hit or miss. Like, you just don't know if they're actually there. Like, is there actually vocals going on in this section, or is that just music? Like, is that just the guitars and drums and stuff? Like, it's a lot to compress. But for me, I've listened to it so many times. For whatever reason, it's an album that has totally clicked with me from the very beginning of listening to it. I've spun it. I cannot even tell you. This is probably my most spun record right now, with the exception of the next one that I'm going to show you. Just there's so many things about it that are just so gravitating, like so captivating, and it just keeps me interested. And like I hear new things, and I'm like, oh, that sounded terrifying, and like it's literally a nightmare. That is literally what you're living when you listen to this music. And it's perfect because we're getting into, it's September now, September 8th or whatever, 9th, whatever, 11th, or I don't know, whatever day this goes live. So we're coming close up to spooky season of October. So this is like the perfect soundtrack to be playing during a haunted house. Like, it's so good. So Bluthaus Nord has got a lot of variances in their discography. There's a lot of albums that I just haven't ever gotten around to really digging deep into. Obviously, their first two albums are very like that old school classic black metal sound. And that those are the first ones I ever heard. And I love those albums, but their discography is so like broad in terms of their sound and their themes that they do. But I think that they do this really well. Some people compare it to Portal. I personally don't really care for Portal's albums at all. I think their last album, they came out with two albums recently, like was it last year on Profound Lore? One of them I didn't like and the other one I kind of liked. I think they do it better, in my opinion, of this avant-garde, black metal, spooky, scary shit. I don't even know what to call it. But again, you know, everybody's taste in music is different. Everybody hears things differently. So I understand why people don't like this, and it's not for everybody at all, at all. But if you loved the last album that they put out, and then Lovecraftian Echoes too, which I need to get. If you loved this Lovecraft era that they're in, then you're gonna like this new record by far. I'm surprised I like it as much as I do, because I'm not really into like the avant-garde. Like I don't really care for Imperial Triumphant. I have one of their albums. I don't ever listen to it. So like, but this is doesn't compare. I think this is so much better. There's something about it that it just really, for me personally, really enjoy. I just love everything that's going on in these songs. Like it's not very linear. Like there's a lot going on that you hear differently every time you listen to it. So, it's phenomenal. It's good. I really love this album. So I'm interested to know what you think about it. It's hard to put into words, like what this album is, because again, like I've said, I go from like, what the fuck is this, to this is phenomenal. Like that's how I feel when I listen to this album, like going back and forth, and it has not changed. But it's a quick listen too. It goes by quick for me, especially now that I've listened to it so many times. I think the B side's a little bit better. I don't really know, like if that's even warranted, because for the most part everything blends together on this album. They all go together. It's you can tell. But I really do love the Black Vortex, the way the B-side starts, and Forgotten Aeon, which is the last song. I just think it ends perfectly, but the whole album is really good. But those are the two like shout outs I want to make. So yeah, surprised that I love this album as much as I do. I think it's spectacular. And if you haven't heard it, and if you want to listen to something different, not your traditional black metal or your modern black metal or your lo-fi black metal, whatever you're into, this is just different. Check it out, because you might actually really like it. And again, this one is really good too. I love this album. There's a lot to dig down into this one. It took me a little bit more to listen to, but after a while I really got into it. So it's a great album too. So I like what they're going. Hopefully they don't do like 10 of these albums, but you know, we'll see. Hallucinogen is another one that I really like, but that's not anything compared to this. I mean, there's some similarities, kinda, but for the most part, they change their sound, they change their themes. It's awesome, and it's a band that does it with success. So spectacular. It's a great album. And then finally, the last thing that I want to talk about today, only two albums, because black metal has not been a genre of music I've been listening to a lot. This one actually took me by surprise. I didn't expect it to love it as much as I did. I had pretty low expectations, I'm not going to lie. I did like the other three albums that have come out by this artist. I own them on tape and CD, and I just, it's not one of those things that I've been like, yeah, I fucking love this band or I love this guy. It's just not one that I've been super obsessed with like a lot of my friends are. But this album I'm obsessed with, and it's spectacular. And now I'm going back and listening to the discography again because something finally clicked with me. And what I'm talking about is the new Mizmor album. What is this called? Proziac? I can't remember how to say it. So Mizmor is like a black doom drone band. You probably already know. Do I need to go into detail about that? It's just one guy, does it all, but he has a touring band that plays with him. And this album is his his fourth full length. He's got an EP that came out last year called Wits End. It was really good. I liked it. I just never bought it. And then there's a couple of splits and comps and stuff like that he has out too. Yod is a spectacular album. I really like the album. And then Cairn, I fucking butchering these names, is another great album. And then the first album, I can't remember what it's called. It's got a symbol. That's a great album too. All the albums are good, but this one is my favorite so far. This one hit me a little bit more. So this is like a personal album by far, and he has done a lot of interviews and talked about like the writing process of this. I think it even says it in here too, where it's more of a personal take. It steps back a little bit from what Mizmor is known for. And it's more about dealing with his everyday battles of like depression and anxiety and stuff like that. It's a really, really good album. It is depressing as hell. It is dark as hell. And but it's also spectacular. I can't begin to tell you just how much of a trance this puts me when I listen to it. It's so good. It's only 4 songs, but they're long, obviously, and it's a double LP. It's a really nice Stoughton jacket, which fucking listen to me knowing what that means. So it's a thick cardstock jacket with the glued on paper on the inside, very glossy. And there's the man himself. Is his name Andrew? I can't remember. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about. But the Hebrew is the language that the first album is, and like what the logo is, I believe. Yeah. So I was reading up about it. I think his name is Andrew. I can't remember. I didn't write it in my notes. I'm an asshole. But yeah, like he did like a long liner notes of this like digitally on Bandcamp, and then Profound Lore's website. This is out on Profound Lore, by the way. About how like he took a step back. This was more of like a fun record that he wanted to do, like what he specifically wanted to do differently than what he has done in the past, and it's a lot about, you know, a little bit personal struggles for those types of things. So it's a very personal record if you think about it. And the album cover reminds me of Burzum. I'm just gonna throw it out there. Felicifum, whatever the fuck that album. Like immediately when I saw this, I thought it was a Burzum album. Kind of the Mizmor looks a little bit similar too. I don't know if that was on purpose or what. Who knows? I doubt it. But it just I call that out there. I joke like, oh, there's a new Burzum album out this year. It's a joke. Settle down. But yeah, double LP. I got this, whatever this variant was. I don't know. Similar to the Blue Toss Nord. I don't know. There was a couple other variants. Sold out super quick. I think on Profound Lore there's only a black version left, I think. Yeah, it's a great album. It's cathartic, it's depressing, and also it's just, you know, at times very raw. It's not rewriting or reinventing the wheel here. There's a lot of that doom elements on here. It's like blackened doom. There's some of that drone on here as well, but it does it so well. The sludgy guitar is so spectacular. I love his vocals, and just everything about it. I thoroughly enjoyed, to the point of it being probably one of my favorite albums this year by far. So far the top three favorite albums are Cow's Decapitation, Mesmer, and Blue Dot Snort. Those are like the things. And now Dying Fetus is up there. So yeah, I just, it's a great album. I love it. Some people were criticizing it, I saw on like Metal Twitter and other places that I'm on, about it being a little bit different and not like the stereotypical normal Mesmer album. It just didn't do anything for them. And of course, I went and listened to it and was like, oh, it's great. I love this album. I like this. I continue to do this stuff like. So this is kind of like black and whatever doom metal that I like. So it's a good album. Be interested to know what you guys' thoughts are. But that's all that I have today. Quick, short Black Metal Monday video. I am curious. I'm going to start diving in and seeing what other releases are coming out for black metal, because it's just been very scarce for me this year. And I've got an itch now that needs to be scratched after listening to these records and wanting to listen to some more. I pulled out my Immortal records. So I'm back on listening to old black metal, but I'm looking for some newer stuff too. So, all right, that's all that I have. I'll see you guys in the next one.